Good evening. I'd like to call the North Augusta City Council study session for Monday, November the 8th, 2021 to order. And I'll turn it over to our City Administrator, Mr. Jim Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a few items tonight. So the first thing I'd like to do is review the City Council agenda for our council members. And then we'll go into departmental reports, if that's okay with you all. So you have a few proclamations that you'll be reading for Small Business Saturday and also for Arbor Day for November 27th and December 3rd, respectively. And then under unfinished business, we have the second reading of ordinance number 2021-20, which is the ordinance to adopt a revised business license ordinance in accordance with the Business License Standardization Act. And that's the second reading. So we've had some discussions on this already. And again, this is one of the steps that we have to take in order to be compliant with the state of South Carolina for business license arrangements, and also is recommended by the Municipal Association of South Carolina. So nothing that's really out of bounds. It's a standard practice that our municipalities are going through here in the state. And our recommendation, again, is to finish this action item out next week for your final vote for the reading of the ordinance. And I'll pause if there are any questions on the first couple items. Okay, and then we'll move into item 8, which would be under boards and commissions for the State Accommodations Tax Advisory Committee appointment, which is a recommendation by Mayor Williams for Greg Greenewalt, who is the new general manager of the Crown Plaza Hotel. The mayor and I have met with Greg on a few occasions. He has a great big picture view of the region and what he can do as a hospitality host here in the city of North Augusta, and it's probably a really good pick, in my opinion, for adding to the ATAX committee. But I would defer to the mayor for any other further comments on that. But I think that's something that the mayor had talked about.
I think you summed it up well. I think Greg brings the leadership that's needed for the Crown Plaza, and that's an important piece of our Riverside Village, right? And we need to have it run properly, and I think his experience, been impressed with that so far, so hopefully that will continue. So I think it'll be a good move. So.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I'll move on to item number 9, which is another new business item, which is annexation, which is ordinance number 2021-21 to change the corporate limits of the city of North Augusta by accepting the petition requesting annexation by the landowners and annexing plus or minus 0.98 acres of land located at 1446 Hammond Pond Road and owned by Hank DeGraff, and this will be the first reading. So this is a cleanup item we have from the city staff. This is a resident who had received utility services, water services from the city, and contingent on those services, you have to eventually annex into the city. So he is in a property that's contiguous to the city limit. So this will further add to our city rules, if you will. But again, that's an arrangement that we have with our citizens, that they receive services and they're contiguous, that they be open to annexation. And so Mr. DeGraff came in and signed those documents, I think about 2 weeks ago now, and are bringing this now to council for consideration. And I suspect we'll have some other annexations going forward here from this point. But for the residents at home, just something to keep in mind as well, we're not looking to do eminent domain or forced annexations. This is an arrangement where a person who is currently not inside the city limits, if they want to retain city services, utility services, that's the agreement that they sign knowingly and willfully that at some point in time they'll be annexed into the city. So again, this is not a hostile takeover, if you will, or an eminent domain. This is a routine business item.
So everybody on Hammond Pond is not receiving city water. I mean, just the ones that requested, Jim, are the ones having, because I know we talked about that years ago, that there'd be a little deal of getting those people, to come on in the city limits.
James says that they are receiving city water.
They are. But they're not, some of them are not in the city limits yet.
That's correct. And some of them may not choose to take water services from the city. They're not required to.
If they're doing it now, why aren't they coming in the city?
Well, some of them may not be contiguous, and then you also may have people that are doing well service or have some other kind of arrangement. So this is kind of a battle of inches, if you will. You know, this first property is contiguous to the city limits, so that's the next one we can hit. Okay, the next item I have on here is also a new business item for municipality, which is resolution number 2021-45, which is a resolution authorizing a professional services agreement for legislative lobbying services to represent the city before the South Carolina General Assembly and other agencies of state government. And so for the council members here tonight, and also for our citizens at home, really what this would be is a professional services contract with a firm to be able to represent our interests at the State House. And certainly as we look forward to Department of Energy settlement money, state ARPA money, and also just general fund surpluses at the state level, we believe this will be helpful. And as we did a market survey, a number of the larger municipalities here in the state of South Carolina are basically availing themselves of these types of services. So Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Greenville, a number of other municipalities, large and small. Not every city in the state, but a fair number have taken advantage of these services. So my recommendation to the council as we go forward on this is to sign this agreement for a 1-year trial. It's fairly low cost overall. It's $2,000 a month, so $24,000 contract for the year, and ultimately to be able to move forward on this. This is something that we've talked about with some of our representatives, specifically with Representative Bill Hickson. And I think this would not necessarily be in conflict with the representation we receive both at the General Assembly and at the Senate, but I think would be additive in nature for our interests here at the city of North Augusta. So that's what I wanted to put on the table today for discussion or consideration from the council. And with your approval between the mayor and council, I'd like to be able to keep this on the agenda for next week.
Any comments from council?
I guess just for citizens listening, the main goal is to have somebody advocate for the city at a higher level than what we are now, so that we can hopefully adequately get the funds that we're looking for and have more projects going forward and kind of streamline everything into that. That's the main goal, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So it's to make sure that we have advocacy at that level, and to make sure that City of North Augusta projects and initiatives have the right kind of daylight on them to be able to move forward. I would tell you that our sister city in the county, City of Aiken, also has a professional services contract in that way, different organization, but are using that to some effect. And so I think this would be wise for us to consider moving forward. I think that pretty much covers the agenda items for next week, and I'll pause for any other questions or comments from the council members or anything you'd like to put on the table relative to the agenda. Okay, with that, if you wouldn't mind, we'll move right over to department details, and we'll start off with Cammie Hayes from Finance.
I was attending the tax sale today with Christine James, our tax clerk, so that's why my department details are not currently included in your list. We did sell 8 properties today to bidders, and we did not have any properties that went to the Forfeited Land Commission. If there are any citizens whose properties were sold, they can reach out to the tax clerk, which is Christine James. They can stop by the finance department, and we can help them redeem their property if they choose to do so. Just a reminder to all of our citizens that our city offices are closed on Thursday for the holiday, and that includes the finance department, but they are still able to make utility payments online as well as at the box in our parking lot here at the municipal building. And we have a Cycle 1 disconnect scheduled for next week on the 17th and 18th, as well as a Cycle 2 due date on the 18th. And that's all I have for finance, unless you have any questions.
Cammie, also, if I may, from a historical perspective, the number of properties that were brought out to the tax sale were fairly low relative to previous years. So only 8 properties going forward is significantly less than we've had in previous years. So a good sign, at least from an economics perspective.
We're all residential, or?
Yes, I believe they were all residential.
Thanks, Cammie. We'll move over now to public services with James.
With city offices being closed on Thursday, there will be no sanitation and collection service on Thursday due to the holiday. their service will be provided on Wednesday, one day early. Most of those customers are located on the north side of I-20. In the same, we ask that customers leave their roll carts curbside until the collections are made, because our staff will be running a dual route that day. They'll be working late into the evening to get everything collected. In the event that there's a missed pickup, our office will be open again Friday morning. We'll make sure that your services are rendered Friday morning, and you can call our office. And also in the same, visit the website if you got any questions or need further information.
James, ask a question. I talked to the codes guy about a resident. She has 2 trash cans. They are both filled to the brim. And I guess she forgets to roll her cart out. So in turn, in her driveway must be 20, 25 white bags of trash, which to me is gonna bring in all kind of rodents, you know. And so I said, well, maybe we could tell her that if she could roll them out and we put the trash out, then maybe y'all could just come pick up that day or something. But they said y'all will not, if a bag is laying on the street, the trash men do not pick it up, right? Has to be in that cart. But she's got so many, there's no earthly way she's gonna put these 20 bags besides the other 50 that's in each trash.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know what to do on the situation.
Well, you're right. We don't collect any household waste that's left curbside. It has to be placed in a roll cart. It sounds like she may need some special pickup.
Yeah, so you would do a special pickup?
There'll be
Okay.
a minimal charge for it, but she can call our
Okay.
office if you want to give her our phone number,
Okay, all right,
direct
well, I'll
number, and
do
we'll get her
that.
taken care
All
of.
right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, James. Also wanted to highlight James's crew's work. Roy, and this is probably both public services and public safety, but Roy Kilbler from Property Maintenance under James' purview did yeoman's work last week at the Flythe and Seven Gables property as far as clearing a number of the underbrush, and they'll be back on site starting tomorrow to really work the portion between the old motel and then the legacy properties on Observatory Road. So they've got several more days going forward, but I think you can see tangible results of the city crews up there doing the work that they were doing. So hats off to James and his team. And with that, we'll go over to Tommy Paradise for planning and development.
The Planning Commission is going to be meeting next Thursday, and the Board of Zoning Appeals met last week, and they also adopted their schedule for the coming year, and we'll be moving their meetings from the first Thursday to the first Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.
Thanks, Tommy. And I'll turn it over to Chief for public safety.
We held our annual golf tournament today. I think we had 26 teams well attended, and all of that benefits the local charities, so we were very proud of that and for the turnout we had. We also have 2 open dispatcher positions that are currently ones that we will actually be interviewing for on Wednesday. So hopefully we'll get some good candidates for that. And then lastly, our construction work at Fire Station 1 seems to be going on well. We're still looking for some materials, but hopefully they'll come in soon and we'll get back on track. Thank you.
Also wanted to commend Chief Thomas and our HR department with J.D. McCauley really for the push they've had on public safety officers. So they've done a really good job on closing the gap on number of officers hired. We still have a number of certification training that has to occur at the Fire Academy and the Police Academy. But as far as getting folks on the rolls for the department, Chief and J.D. have done really good work to close that gap. So again, good work on both their parts. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rick Meyer from PRT.
All these tall people, yeah. We're excited tonight to introduce to you our brand new tourism team that was formed in the reorganization of our department. And I'd like to start off, first of all, with our new tourism and marketing coordinator that's with us. I'm going to ask him to stand, Mr. Randy Ditto. Randy's going to be responsible for preparing and implementing all marketing and publicity for our department, our facilities, events, programs, He'll also be responsible for development, implementation, and maintenance of a department marketing plan, and he will also assist in supporting the general city communications and marketing efforts. We're very fortunate to get someone with Randy's experience and look forward to what he's going to add to this tourism, to the T in PRT. Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Capital T. Our new events coordinator is a familiar face with the city of North Augusta, Mr. Derek Boyd. Derek, please stand for us. Derek has made a transition after many years of working in athletic programs, and Derek will be responsible for scheduling and coordinating the rentals of the Municipal Center, Palmetto Terrace, the Community Center, and the Sharon Jones Amphitheater to individuals and groups. He will also assist with planning, coordinating, and overseeing our special events, such as the 2022 Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee that we look forward to bringing back, yes. And I might add that Derek is already doing a great job. Our rentals, if you look at your revenue figures in your monthly reports, you'll see the numbers are going up in both facilities. Our newest employee and part of the tourism team comes to us, center coordinator, Mr. Philip Prescott. Philip, please stand for us. Yep. Philip's job is to assist Derek with the rentals of the Palmetto Terrace, the community center, and supervise events and activities as scheduled at the facilities, and which that has been just about every weekend for you now. Yes, yes, indeed, and that's a good sign. So we wanted to introduce you to these folks so you'd be familiar with their faces, and they'll be the ones again bringing the tea to North Augusta. I have also the 40th Annual Rotary Bowl. Hard to believe. The 40th Annual Rotary Bowl is this Saturday at Lions Field. I know Pat Carpenter will be a part of that. Yeah. Rotary Bowl will wrap up our 2021 youth football and cheerleading program. Also this Saturday at the Activity Center from 10 to 4, we'll have the CSRA Kids Jam. So we'll have a busy weekend at the park. And we have one last thing that is not on your thing that we want to talk about tonight. In December, the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism staff, administrative staff, will travel to Greenville for a conference, the South Carolina Recreation Park Association Conference. And within that conference, we have branches. And one of the branches is called South Carolina Athletic Programs Branches. And I'm going to ask Jeff Williamson, who serves on the board of the South Carolina Athletic Program Branch, to come down here and make an announcement for us because we have nominated someone for an award. And I'll let Jeff tell the rest of the story.
I'll let this open. So we had a meeting with the SCAT board, and we nominate different people for different positions. Volunteers of the year, coaches of the year, and whatever. So this year we nominated Pat Carpenter as Volunteer of the Year, and she won. Ooh, so she will be recognized.
All right,
yeah. So on December the 9th.
Major award, Pat.
Yeah.
That's a major award.
Long overdue, by the way. We were going to do it last year, but COVID got us. So anyway, so December the 9th at the awards luncheon, and I'll give you all the particulars about it. So they're going to recognize you for your volunteer work within the city of North Augusta.
Because I love it.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, I just love it. People say, why don't you quit? You're 71, quit. I said, no, the day I walk on that ball field or gym and I don't like it, but right now I love every minute of it, and thank y'all so much.
Okay, no problem, and we'll give you the particulars of it later, but congratulations, well deserved.
That's good, thank you. That's awesome. I just want to, that's awesome, thank you for that. But I just want to just make the comment, I've had the privilege to be able to meet with Randy, Derek, and Philip already, and as well as Carl and Rick and Jim and Rachel, and I tell you, I could not be more excited about that team. And they each have an excitement, they are fired up about their position, they bring a lot to the table, and I think you're going to see amazing things from the T in tourism, Rick, with you and Carl and your team, and guys, we're excited about y'all being part of where we're moving forward. This council's commitment to tourism's a big deal, and y'all are going to be an integral part of that. So welcome and excited about working with you. Okay.
The tourism team works directly under the supervision of Superintendent Carl Waldhauer, so I want to make sure I make that point.
Also for the council members, the tourism team is now housed entirely at the community center. So all three members are located there. I know in the past we had members that were kind of split between City Hall here and then over at the community center. So now what you have is a consolidated effort, if you will, there at that location. So for our citizens at home as well, if you're looking to have a face-to-face engagement with our team, that's where they're located. And with that, I'll transition it over to Tom Zeser for Engineering and Public Works.
Just a couple items. You may have noticed that the traffic signal poles have returned at Bergen and Martintown. They are black this time, so we're glad to see those installed. And while I haven't been given an exact completion date, I have no reason to think that those signals should not be in operation by the end of this year. So that's great news. The only other item is this week Streets and Drains Department is beginning to some drainage work at Living History Park to try to help improve a drainage issue there, and it's a shared cost project. The Old Town Preservation Association is paying the cost of those materials, and the city forces and equipment are doing the installation. So that should just take a couple days this week, and again hopefully bring some much needed improvement to that area.
Great. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Last but not least, we'll go with J.D. McCauley under HR.
All right, good evening. Just my usual update that we have, still have jobs posted. Want to make sure everyone out there knows to go to northaugusta.net/jobs. Every Friday we update that list. But I do want to kind of echo what Jim said about our directors and our hiring managers. You guys know it's a challenging market, but we have some really awesome directors and hiring managers that have really done a great job, and we've been able to recruit some obviously awesome talent, as you guys see here tonight. So we're doing really well in the recruitment aspect, and that is all due to our directors and their hiring managers. So we're doing a great job here. Just wanted to let everyone know. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. But
Thank you, JD.
Thanks, J.D. So that covers our item 2, which is department details, and then item 3 for mayor's matters. We did not do a focus item tonight, just to take a breath after we got through the budget. We've got a couple other major topics we're going to have to go through probably by the end of the year, and we're starting to do some preparatory activities to put that together. What I would like to say, under at least my time block, if I may, is that we are tentatively scheduling a design meeting for the public safety headquarters for public input next Tuesday, the 17th of November. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday, thank you. Wednesday, the 17th of November. And so we still have to lock in one aspect of that, but once we do, we'll put out a public notice request, and the council members are certainly welcome to participate in that event if we get that lined up on that date. Again, the whole point of that would be to receive some public input, and we'd likely host that in the Palmetto Terrace upstairs, where we could put some kind of large displays up of the site plan and also of the current building rendering that we have, so we could get some feedback, just like we did for Fire Station 1. That activity was actually completed at Fire Station 3. We would just do that here at the Palmetto Terrace instead. So, Mr. Mayor, I turn the meeting back over to you.
Okay.
No more administrative updates.
I've just got a few kind of updates. I mentioned some of these last Monday. Just want to remind folks, tonight at Grace, if you're at 7:30, they're having the Veterans Concert, which is a fantastic event at Grace United Methodist Church. That's at 7:30 tonight. Tomorrow, the Downtown Merchants is having their Sip and Stroll in downtown to kind of get in the holiday spirit. So if you're available, come out and support the merchants tomorrow night. This Thursday at the Wade Hampton Park, our own retired Colonel Jim Clifford, City Administrator, will be speaking at the Veterans Day event. We have the trolleys running at the Legion Hut. So for folks, audience out there in the city, If you get the Legion Hut, you can get on our trolley to come up to that event. So a lot of people are requesting that, so I'm excited we could do the trolley, but that's going to be a great event at 11 o'clock this Thursday. Don't forget March the 30th, Christmas tree lighting. I know Derek Boyd's working on that. The fun begins at 5, but the lighting will begin at 6. And then afterwards, don't leave. Walk downtown. The downtown merchants having a cocoa cookie crawl. So that's a great night to spend several hours in downtown North Augusta in our parks. It just should be a great festive event to kick off the December. And then the Living History Park, don't forget they're doing Christmas in the backcountry. And that is going to be November the 27th, 28th. That's a walkthrough. And then the last thing is Small Business Saturday is November the 27th. We'll be doing a proclamation next week for that. So I think we were talking about it earlier. There's just a lot of exciting things happening in November as we move into the holiday. And I think this is a great opportunity for citizens to be able to get out and really enjoy themselves. So it's real nice. I just want to send that information out. Anything from council? Any comments y'all have?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to recognize our veterans, if I wouldn't mind, including our council member, David McGee, and I know Phil Proscott's also a fellow Army alum, and any other veterans I may have missed in the audience tonight, and any of our North Augusta citizens for this coming Thursday.
Thank you. I was going to mention that Yellow Jackets play in the second round of the playoffs on Friday night, and it's a home game.
That's this Friday home?
This Friday home. I believe it starts at 7:30. So come out and support the Jackets.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else? All right. You good? All right.